Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be showing you the KTM 1290 Super Duke R in multiplayer. And for some reason, the biker is messing with his mirror. That's a little Easter egg, guys. So my rank is 1254, my tuning is 010 because the bike has 10 levels of upgrades, and 0103 in Pro Kits. The Pro Kits are just 5 like normal. I noticed that not too many people have done multiplayer videos with bikes, especially this one, so I decided to. Now in this video are the 5 consecutive first races I played with this bike. Now it starts up slightly faster than a Servolt, and you can tell already the bike isn't very good because the Servolt is nearly the same speed as me, and I am triple boosted. Now you may be wondering why I titled this video, "I hate this bike," if I'm in first place. Well, when you see my competition at the end of this race, you'll understand why I'm in first. And then once you watch the next few races in this bike, you'll understand why I hate it. Even though I am in first, the Servolt is right behind me throughout the entire race so far. You know a car is not very good for multiplayer when a Servolt is able to keep up with you. When you supercharge, turn as soon as possible to get out of wheelie mode like I just did, because when you are doing a wheelie, the bike does not like to turn much at all. So the earlier you turn quickly to get out of the wheelie, the more likely you will be able to control the bike when it's still in its supercharged mode. And beware, do not do a supercharge when you're going around a corner, because you will do the wheelie and then the bike will slam you into a wall because you won't be able to turn quickly enough to get out of it. That's why I only recommend doing supercharge on fairly straight places. So we're coming up to the end of the very first multiplayer race I ever played in this bike, and I was thinking, hey, maybe it's not so bad after all. I got first place. Then I saw my competition. Unboosted Servolt, GTR, and V12 Zagato. And I was triple boosted. And I didn't beat them by all that much either. Yeah. So if I can barely beat an unboosted Servolt, let's see how I do against 2 Shelby Cobras. This should be fun. I hope you can hear the sarcasm in my voice, because even though the bike does actually start up faster than the Shelby Cobra, one of them has already passed me, as you can see on the map, and 11 seconds into the race, he has officially passed me and speeding away very fast, even though he went the long way at the beginning and I went the short way. Now it is a good idea to go up pretty much as many ramps as you can in the bike, because the supercharge, especially if you upgrade nitro, does actually give you a more speed boost than if you're just in normal nitro. It gives you about, I want to say in this bike, a 10 to 15 miles per hour increase, which is quite good actually. It can go 233, 232-ish miles per hour when supercharged. A Cobra at this rank can go at least 15 miles per hour faster than even that. So the second Cobra has now caught up to me, and even though I am doing all sorts of bunches of tricks and stuff, the Cobra's speed is just too much for this bike, and he just passes me just like that. There's nothing I can do about it, and you can't knock down them because bikes cannot knock down cars unless you land on top of them. And knowing how well the physics engine works, even if I landed on top of a car, I'd probably get knocked down instead. And because the drifting radius is too sharp like the FXX, I just go straight into the inside. As you can see, there is not much good about this bike. You only really have a chance against most cars on one-lap races on tracks with a lot of ramps, so avoid Azure Coast. And I would say avoid using this bike in multiplayer at all. So those 2 Shelby Cobras have beat me. Now let's see what their ranks were. There were a 1344 and a 1271. I got very bad matchmaking in this race. So I got to thinking, that second Shelby Cobra passed me rather late in the race. So I wondered, could I ever beat a Shelby Cobra? Well, in this race, we'll see. So the Donkervort still speeds up faster than this bike, but the Shelby Cobras are not far behind, and 2 of them just wrecked into the wall, because they did not start drifting early enough, and they have a very bad drifting radius. And then the Donkervort just wrecked as well, so miraculously, I am in second place. On a one-lap race on Barcelona, can I hold off either of the 2 Cobras behind me? Well, we will see. It's best to take the beach route with this bike like I just did, although going up a bit more ramps I suppose, because you really need supercharge in this bike if you want it to be any bit competitive at all. And speaking of the supercharged feature, I really like it personally because number 1, it makes my car go faster of course, and number 2, it's purple. That makes up for not being able to make any of the bikes purple, which is kind of annoying. Gameloft has not added a car that could be made purple for 2 updates now. I'm pretty sure no one else noticed that. So one of the Shelby Cobras is now coming up to me, and I figured out that this bike has decent armor with knockdowns because so many times in this video so far, a car has brushed past me, and I've not gotten knocked down, which is kind of surprising, and one of the only good traits of this vehicle. Now remember, there were 3 Shelby Cobras in this race, and only 2 of them are ahead of me. So that means I am somehow beating a Shelby Cobra in a bike. I am not sure exactly how that happened, but as you can see here, yes, I did lose to 2, but I beat a 1285 one, which is at least 35 miles per hour faster than my bike when I'm not supercharged. Now for the 4th race I played in this bike. Now again, we've got a Cobra, and we also have an M2 and a Servolt back there. As you can see, I could not knock down that Shelby Cobra, and he just kind of speeds on past. This race started out okay, but then everyone passed me, and then this jump went all wonky, and I went far off, and I didn't go right enough because the bike couldn't turn, and yeah. And then 10 seconds later, this happened. And then at the end of the first lap, this happened. And then at the end of the second lap, this happened. Now for the final race in this terrible bike. Against an M2, a Cigaris, and a Shelby Cobra. I'm pretty sure we all know how this race is going to end. Or do we? Hashtag Furum Sauce. Anyway, let me explain the purple bar, or the focus meter as it's called, to those who may be a little bit confused about it. So when you go up a jump, you'll notice a little purple thing shows up in the left part of the screen with 3 white places in it. Now, when you're in the air, a little marker goes up those white places rather quickly, as you can see there. And if you hit within the white places, you get a perfect stunt. If you hit in the purple places, you get a good stunt. And if you hit in one of the black places, you get a poor, where it doesn't fill up much of your bar at all. The lowest of the 3 white spots in the meter is called a quick stunt. The second one is called a mid stunt, and the one at the top is called an apex stunt. The higher on the meter you hit, the more your focus meter will be filled up, and that was a neat flat spin right there. But also, the higher you go up, the smaller the sections are to get the stunts, meaning it's harder to get a perfect especially, and they take longer to complete, meaning if you are just doing a short jump, you probably just need to do a quick stunt, or possibly a mid stunt. However, if you have taken a big jump, it is oftentimes best to try to get an apex stunt, because if you get an apex perfect, it will fill up your meter all the way, even if you were at nothing before. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. Also, I would like to point out that there is a little bug where if you have run out of nitro and then you supercharge your bike, the entire first tank of your bike will be filled up without you actually getting any nitro. Which, while it may be a glitch, is sure nice because the bikes really don't have a lot going for them and they really need all the advantages they can get. Because while it seems kind of unfair, it's actually not, because it's really like the only thing a bike has better than any car. Except for the better handling and drifting, but sometimes those can actually be detrimental because they may be too good, and you may not be able to handle them as well. I found this to be a problem when going through the bike's R&D because it was so aggravating how sometimes the bike would just kind of randomly skid and whatnot. I got so tired of this bike's R&D that I actually quit right after I got enough blueprints to get the car before the second to last AI, because I'd gotten 2 of the 8 through extra boxes, and the R&D gave the other 6 up to this point. So I just quit and said, I have the bike, forget the R&D, I'm done with you. But now, because I am going to try to get all new vehicles in this update, yes, I've never done that before. Last update I almost did, but I missed the Cayman. So no matter how irritating the R&Ds may be, and the rest of the events in this update are R&Ds, for bikes and one for the Peugeot, I'm going to try to get every single vehicle in this update. So I guess you could say that is my current goal. Speaking of goals, my other one is getting the Cadillac 16 Concept, which is 1,600 licenses. But as of the time of recording this, I now have 1,430 licenses, so only 170 more. Hopefully it shouldn't take too long, but I really have no idea. So it could be weeks, it could be months, I really don't know. But I will make a video of that car when I get it. So I don't really need to give my general consensus on this bike because I've kind of been saying it the entire video. It's bad. So if you did not manage to get this bike, don't worry about it because you didn't really miss anything at all. So the Cobra won this race, but we beat the M2 and the Cigaris. Thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed it and found it to be helpful, and consider subscribing to see my Asphalt 8 videos right as they come out. And I will see you later. Goodbye.